You didn't just survive their betrayal, you made their whole army destroy itself. The same mouths that cursed you are now choking on their own poison. They thought they were untouchable, chosen by darkness, protected by numbers. But they forgot one thing. You were never outnumbered, you were outloved, outshined, and divinely backed. They built a trap out of jealousy and tied it with arrogance, but the moment they pulled that string, it snapped right back into their faces. The tables didn't just turn, chosen one. You flipped the entire board and burned the rulebook. Now they're standing in the ashes of their own schemes, trying to figure out how the target became the storm. Now imagine this for a moment. Chosen one, a group of people plotting in secret, thinking they've finally got you cornered. They share smirks, exchange plans, whisper your name like it's a curse, and then silence. One by one, they start pointing fingers at each other. The group chat goes dead. Meetings stop. Friendships crumble. The same energy they used to chase you has turned on them. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual recoil. The universe saying, "Touch not my anointed." And here's a fact that cuts deeper than karma itself. When a chosen one is attacked unfairly, the energy doesn't disappear. It ricochets. Science calls it Newton's third law. Spirit calls it divine reversal. Every dark word, every false rumor, every jealous glare they threw your way, it's all coming back, 3 times stronger, with their names written on it this time, because energy is currency, and they spent all theirs trying to break you. Now they're bankrupt, and you're glowing. And thank you, chosen one, for standing tall through it all. Don't forget to pay this message back by pressing the like button and subscribing. Help this light reach more souls. It's our shared mission to wake the world up. You're part of this divine force, a living reminder that light always exposes lies. You're not alone in this. You are the storm they fear. Now let's get back to it, chosen one. They didn't just turn on each other by accident. They were dismantled by the same energy they unleashed. You see, betrayal has a weird way of looping back. It's like watching snakes in a pit, all biting each other when they run out of prey. You didn't have to lift a finger. Your silence did the talking. Your peace screamed louder than any confrontation could. That's the thing about being chosen. Your existence alone is a threat to the fake. You don't have to expose them. They expose themselves trying to destroy you. The ringleader, the so-called mastermind, thought they were building an empire, but what they really built was a ticking bomb made of ego and envy. They gathered people, made alliances, spread stories, and believed they were untouchable. Yet the moment your light hit them, everything shattered. You were the mirror they couldn't stand to look into. The truth you carry is like sunlight, and sunlight kills everything that hides in the dark too long. Now that ringleader, they're being thrown under the very bus they were driving, abandoned, blamed, ghosted by the same crowd they once controlled. It's divine irony at its best. The one who tried to make you the scapegoat has now become the sacrifice. And the group that once felt so powerful, gone. Their meetings stopped, their bond snapped, and their purpose evaporated the second you stood back up. See, chosen one, you didn't destroy them. Your energy corrected the imbalance. When you rise in authenticity, everything fake collapses. Your power isn't loud or violent, it's cosmic. It's the kind of power that makes liars lose sleep and pretenders lose followers. They can't compete with someone who was built by the same hands that built the stars. You're divinely coded to win, and their failure is just proof of that system working perfectly. So let them whisper, let them regret, let them face what they created, because right now the universe is making sure every fake alliance, every false accusation, every hidden plot folds in on itself like paper in fire. And you? You are the flame. Chosen one, remember this, you are the walking proof that truth doesn't need protection. Lies do. You are the calm in the chaos, the balance that the universe restores when darkness goes too far. They thought you were the victim, but you were the lesson. This is divine order playing out in real time. The ringleader has fallen, the group is gone, and you're still standing, brighter, stronger, untouchable, and chosen one, don't go anywhere. This right here was just the warning shot. The real judgment is still loading, and what comes next will shake your soul in the best way. You're not just watching a story unfold, you're standing in the aftermath of a spiritual war you already won. So if you're feeling this shift, if your spirit is buzzing right now, drop the number 777 in the comments. That's the number of closure, karmic completion, and final chapters being sealed. You didn't just survive their betrayal, you triggered the collapse of an entire fake kingdom. And if you feel called to, bless this channel with a super thanks. Your light fuels this mission. Every message, every truth bomb, every warning that hits the enemy like thunder, it's all powered by you. Let them know the chosen ones are loud, proud, and rising. And now, let's dive into this step by step. And trust me when I say, if you really are one of the chosen, something deep inside you is gonna pull you to stay. It won't feel like just a video. It'll feel like you're remembering something you already knew. Let's get started. Number 1, they thought you were weak. Ha! They called you weak because you didn't bark back, but now they're trembling because you learned how to bite in silence. Let's get one thing straight. They didn't come for you because you were weak. They came for you because they could feel your power before you ever knew you had it. You were calm. You were silent. You kept your head down, your mouth shut, and your energy clean. But they mistook your silence for softness. They thought just because you weren't clapping back, you didn't have the strength to flip their whole reality upside down. They were dead wrong. They never understood that being chosen isn't about being loud. It's not about flexing online or proving your worth to people who don't even matter. It's about that unexplainable pull, that divine favor that follows you even in rooms you've never walked in. They couldn't figure you out, and what the enemy can't understand, they fear. So they did what all cowards do when they feel threatened. They formed a circle, threw your name in the middle, and played God. But what they didn't know was, the real God was watching. And now, judgment's here, and you're walking out of the fire like royalty. You see, chosen one, you are proof that real power whispers. Think about it. Trees don't make noise while they grow, but one day you look up and they've cracked the concrete. That was you, quiet, unseen, misunderstood, until your light got too big to ignore. And now, the same ones that called you too quiet, too sensitive, too emotional, they're scrambling to fix the mess they made, trying to pull you down. They thought you were a background character. Jokes on them. You were the main event, the plot twist they never saw coming. Let's make it real for a second. Think of people like Keanu Reeves, never loud, always moving in silence. No scandals, no chaos, just focus, humility, and purpose. Yet he's one of the most loved and respected people on the planet. Why? Because real power doesn't need to shout. Same with Kendrick Lamar. No constant interviews, no loud social media games. But every time he speaks, the world listens. That's the essence of chosen energy. It doesn't compete. It just exists. and its existence is enough to make the insecure lose their minds. That's what you triggered. They couldn't handle the way people were drawn to you, the way you walked into a room and shifted the energy without even trying. You weren't trying to be liked, you were just being real, and that scared them more than anything. Your presence alone exposed their fake confidence, their loud insecurities, their borrowed personalities. You became a mirror, and what they saw in their reflection disgusted them. So instead of healing, they hated. Instead of elevating, they attacked. But here's the twist. Chosen One, their attack only activated your evolution. You didn't just take the hit and stay down. You transformed. You grew while they plotted. You evolved while they envied. They had no idea that every lie they spread, every rumor they pushed, every time they laughed behind your back, was feeding the fire inside you, a fire that would soon turn into a spiritual wildfire, burning down everything fake, phony, and foul. And you want to know the best part? You didn't even have to fight back. Your growth was the revenge. Your glow-up, unplanned but undeniable. Your silence, strategic. Your peace, a punishment they never saw coming. The whole time they were talking about you, you were becoming the version of yourself that they'd never be able to touch. And now they're shook, quiet, looking over their shoulders, wondering if you're coming for them, but at all. Not because you already won. You're too far ahead. They're stuck in the same pit they dug for you. And now you're realizing the truth. They never hated you. They hated your potential. They hated your favor. They hated that God chose you and not them. People ask, why do the chosen ones always get attacked? Because chosen ones don't need a crowd to validate them. They shine regardless. And in a world full of people who need to be seen to feel relevant, someone who glows from within is a threat to the whole system. You never needed their approval, and that made you dangerous. They thought they were smart, ganged up on you, thought the numbers gave them power, but even the devil gets exposed when the light hits right. And your light? It's blinding now. It's not even you talking anymore. It's your energy doing all the speaking. And the message is loud and clear. You should have never messed with the Chosen One. So, Chosen One, don't regret being quiet. Don't regret being different. Don't regret walking away when they tried to bait you into fights that weren't yours. Because you weren't being weak, you were being wise. You were conserving energy. You were observing. You were letting God handle what your hands didn't need to touch. And look at the result. You're rising while they're falling apart. The group that laughed at you, scattered. The leader who led the betrayal, isolated. The whole operation, self-destructed. You've become what they feared you'd become the most, undeniable. And now they've got no one to blame but themselves, because they underestimated you. They judged your quiet. They poked the lion, thinking it was a house cat. They pushed you, thinking you'd break, but you woke up instead. And when a chosen one wakes up, the whole matrix shakes. So use that. Let it fuel you. Let their doubt become your drive. Let their hate be your confirmation. You weren't weak. You were divinely hidden until it was time to be revealed. And now, you're in your reveal season. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them wonder how you made it. You owe them nothing, but you owe yourself everything. Keep walking in silence, Chosen One, because real power doesn't knock. It kicks the door down. Number 2, the mastermind of mess. The saddest part about being betrayed by the ringleader, you weren't even playing the game, but they still made you the main target. Let's not sugarcoat it. There was one snake, one whisperer, one puppet master in the shadows, pulling strings with greasy fingers and a fake smile. This wasn't just messy, it was surgical. One person engineered a whole social demolition project around your name, feeding lies like candy to the weak-minded and turning people who barely even knew you into personal haters. They weren't confused, they were programmed. And the one behind it? Oh, they wore the mask of a victim while acting like the villain. But now, the puppets are cutting their strings, and the puppet master is being left alone in the wreckage they created. You ever seen someone lead a charge and get trampled by their own army? That's what's happening here. The mastermind thought they were building power. They thought getting a few confused souls to gang up on you made them influential. But all they built was a ticking time bomb of karma, and now it's going off, right in their face. The same crowd they trained to hate you is now turning on them, realizing they were just pawns in someone else's pathetic little grudge match. Let me paint this picture clearly for you, chosen one. Imagine a snake so jealous, so triggered by your light, that they spent months, maybe years, planting seeds of doubt, telling people you were fake, selfish, arrogant, or a threat. They told stories that bent the truth until it snapped. They acted like they were warning others when really they were waging war. And the wildest part? You were probably just chilling, minding your business, healing, growing, leveling up. That's what makes the betrayal hit different. You didn't even see it coming because you weren't competing. But now the mask is cracking. Now the whispers are turning into echoes. Now the people who believed the lies are waking up. You ever notice how lies always need a crowd to survive, but the truth stands on its own? That's why the truth is still standing, and the snake is alone, isolated, watched, judged. The ones who once clapped for them are now whispering behind their back, asking questions like, why did they care so much about someone who wasn't even in their lane? Why were they always talking about them? Why were they obsessed? See, chosen one, this is what you need to understand. Jealousy is loud, and fake power needs followers. The ringleader wasn't powerful. They were insecure. They didn't destroy your name because you wronged them. They tried to destroy your name because you existed, because you had something they didn't. Real favor, real light, real presence. And they hated that they had to manipulate to get what you were born with. They played chess against a divine being and forgot God doesn't lose. Let's look at history for a moment. Julius Caesar, betrayed by Brutus, someone who called him brother. Joan of Arc, burned for being too bold in her light. Jesus, crucified after a betrayal kiss. And what happened to every one of those stories? The betrayers faded into shame and shadows, but the chosen ones, immortalized. So if you're sitting here confused, hurt, asking, why did they turn people against me? It's because you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to rise above. The mastermind wanted your crown, but didn't want to carry your cross. They wanted your light, but weren't willing to burn for it like you did. So they tried to steal it the easy way, through lies, manipulation, and character assassination. But now, karma's got a front row seat, and the play is ending with them being the fool. You might also wonder, why did the others fall for it? Let's be real, not everyone is spiritually awake. Not everyone can see through the fake tears, the victim stories, the crocodile breakdowns. Some people are desperate to belong, and if joining a hate parade gives them a seat at a table, they'll sign up until the table collapses. And guess what? That table's gone now. They're standing in rubble. No more trust, no more squad, no more fake loyalty, just exposed truths and the realization that they followed a liar off a cliff. Chosen One, your only job was to keep shining. And that's exactly what you did. While they were strategizing how to tear you down, you were upgrading your soul. While they were gossiping, you were glowing. And now, you don't even have to clap back. The whole world is doing it for you. The same people who once gave the ringleader their ears are now closing the door in their face. That's what happens when you build a kingdom on lies. Eventually, the truth comes knocking. Let them stew in what they created. Let them live in the house they built with rotten wood, because you're not the same person they targeted. You've evolved. What once hurt you now fuels you. The betrayal didn't break you, it refined you. The lies didn't block your path. They revealed who wasn't meant to walk with you. And the ringleader? They're now the example of what happens when ego tries to fight destiny. And here's the divine twist. They gave you more power by trying to strip it from you. They made you stronger. They sharpened your discernment. They made you unshakable. So now, while they're getting ghosted by the same crowd they weaponized, you're being elevated, quietly, boldly, divinely, and they can't stop it. They'll watch from a distance as you rise higher than they ever imagined. They'll hear your name in rooms they can't enter. They'll see your face in blessings they swore would never come to you. You didn't lose them. Chosen One, they lost you. And that ringleader, they didn't just lose a war. They lost their mask, their power, and the fake empire they built on your name. So walk with your head high, speak when necessary, move with wisdom, and know this: every mastermind of mess eventually becomes a cautionary tale. And you're the legend that came out of it untouched. You were never the villain. You were the prophecy. And no matter how many snakes slithered in your garden, you still bloomed. Number 3, the trap was set, and you walked right through it, unbothered. They designed a cage for you but forgot. You were never built to fit in boxes. You were born to break them. Let's talk about the setup, Chosen One, because they tried. Behind fake smiles and snake-like handshakes, they mapped out a whole trap for you, with precision, with obsession, with the kind of hate that only insecurity can produce. They thought they could rob you of your light, your name, your blessings, your peace. And the wild part, they were confident. They thought, this time we got 'em. But what they didn't realize is that you're not from this world system. You're not bound by their rules. They were playing checkers on a board you already outgrew. You weren't just 3 steps ahead. You were divinely guided through their maze like it was nothing. You saw the trap and kept walking, unbothered, untouched, unbreakable. Here's what they'll never admit. Every single move they made only ended up exposing them. Every lie, every trick, every setup flipped back on them like spiritual whiplash. You didn't have to retaliate. You didn't have to explain yourself. Your energy did the talking, and your protection did the rest. Chosen One, you may have asked, why did they go this far? Because your blessings bothered their demons. Because your light triggered their darkness. Because your elevation felt like an insult to their ego. They couldn't take what you have, so they tried to ruin your reputation instead. But the gag is, what's chosen by the divine can't be stolen by the wicked. That crown on your spirit, glued on by heaven, that favor on your name, stamped by the universe, they tried to stop what they didn't understand. And now, they're standing in the very trap they built, wondering how the hell you're still glowing while they're crumbling. Let them wonder. Let them choke on their confusion. Because the truth is, you were never scared of the trap. You just knew it was beneath you. You're not playing defense, you're playing divine offense. You didn't just dodge the bullet, Chosen One. You made the gun backfire. So keep walking, keep glowing, keep winning, and while they try to recover from their own mess, you keep building your empire, brick by spiritual brick. The universe saw it all, and trust me, it's already handled. Number 4. The moment you flipped the script. They thought they were chasing prey, but you were just letting them run ahead so you could strike from behind with power they didn't even know you had. There was a moment, a split-second shift in the atmosphere, when you stopped running, when fear left your body and clarity took over. That was the moment, chosen one. That was when everything changed. You didn't need revenge, you didn't need to scream, you didn't need to prove anything. You just remembered who the hell you are. And that one realization, it rewired the entire story. You were never the victim, you were just awake. And when you turned around, the whole energy flipped like a switch in a thunderstorm. They didn't see it coming because they never expected you to stop retreating and start radiating. The moment you stopped letting their words pierce you, their power disappeared. You became the storm, unapologetic, unstoppable, unforgiving. You see, the enemy had gotten comfortable. They were used to you shrinking, staying quiet, absorbing the hit. But the second you turned around with divine clarity in your eyes, the entire game collapsed. They weren't built to handle the full version of you. They were feeding off your doubt, and when that doubt died, so did their control. Let's get something straight. You didn't become powerful in that moment. You realized you always were. That's what scared them the most. They couldn't handle the light they tried to dim shining at full volume. You pulled every dagger out of your back, dropped them on the floor and said, "That's all you had." That moment, that fire, was ancestral. It wasn't just you standing up. It was every soul before you that was attacked, misunderstood, hunted for being different, finally rising through you. Some of you asked, why me? Why'd I have to be the one to break the cycle? Because you were built different, built with a trigger inside your soul that activates when you've had enough. And now you're walking with that warrior energy that makes fakes flinch and demons flee. They used to say your name like it was a joke. Now they say it with silence, because they know, they feel it. The script has flipped. And now you write the ending. Number 5, you didn't destroy them, they destroyed themselves. The truth doesn't need to swing, it just stands tall, and everything fake crumbles around it. You didn't have to lift a finger, you didn't have to plot, beg, or even explain. All you did was exist, in your truth, in your light, in your calm. And somehow, that alone was enough to make the very people who ganged up on you start devouring each other like wolves with no prey left to chase. Poetic justice? Nah, that's divine law. They thought they had power because they had numbers. But what they didn't realize is that a group built on lies, envy, and ego has an expiration date. And baby, that clock ran out the moment you stood up without saying a single word. Your energy spoke for you. Your silence exposed what their chaos tried to hide. And let's make this crystal clear, chosen one, you didn't destroy them. They destroyed themselves. You were the mirror. The moment they looked too long, they couldn't stand what stared back at them. That's what truth does. It peels, masks off, exposes cracks, and makes shaky foundations fall. And fall they did, one by one. Arguments, betrayals, silent treatments, everyone trying to figure out who started the fire, but it was never you. It was them, playing with matches near gasoline. You might be wondering, but why did they turn on each other so fast? Because snakes don't stay loyal. They just coil around each other until the heat's up. Once the lies stopped working, once people started asking questions, the whole illusion shattered, the fake unity gone, the loyalty fraudulent, the ringleader ghosted. Now the DMs are dry, the meetings are cancelled, and nobody wants to be seen with the very person who orchestrated the drama. Because people remember who handed them the gun when it backfires. And the sweetest part, you weren't even watching. You were too busy healing, glowing, growing. While they were choking on karma, you were blooming in peace. That's the true flex. So let them burn their own house down. Let them point fingers in circles. Let them stay pressed while you're being blessed. The universe made it so you wouldn't have to get revenge because their own energy was the trap. All you had to do was stay true. And that truth did more damage than any plan they could have drawn up in the dark. Let it fall, let it crumble, let them watch you shine from the ruins of their own mess. Number 6. Nobody's answering their calls now. They thought they were the center of everyone's universe. Now they can't even get a text back. That's what happens when the darkness uses people like batteries. Once the power runs out,
They throw the charger away.
let's talk about the downfall, chosen one. The part where the same puppet master who rallied an entire crew against you is now sitting in silence, phone in hand, pride in pieces. Nobody's answering, nobody's checking in. Those little gossip meetings, cancelled. That group chat they used to throw dirt on your name, dry. The same people who once had their back are gone, ghosted, scattered like dust in the wind. You see, when they were the leader of the circus, everyone came for the entertainment. They were the ringleader, the director of drama. But the second that spotlight turned into a judgment flame, everyone dipped. Because nobody wants to sit next to the villain once the truth hits. They built their army on manipulation, not loyalty. So when karma came knocking, their so-called squad pulled a disappearing act. Now they're texting old allies, calling old co-conspirators, reaching for help. But all they're getting is silence, divine silence, blocked, ignored, left on red. Because what's built on fake loyalty dies. The second fear enters the room. Chosen one, I know some part of you might ask, why are they alone now? Because the universe is balancing the scales. This is what it looks like when divine justice plays out. The same person who couldn't go 5 minutes without obsessing over your downfall is now sitting in a room full of echoes. And those echoes, they're all their own words bouncing back. They used your name for attention, for control, to feel powerful. But now your name only reminds people of how badly they were manipulated. It stings, and it should. Here's the real truth. They never had power. They had distraction. And when you stopped reacting, you pulled the plug. You cut off the oxygen. You reclaimed your energy. And without your energy to weaponize, they're nothing. The House of Cards collapsed. And now, they're reaching out from the rubble, hoping someone will save them from the mess they created. But nobody's coming, because the universe isn't just protecting you, it's exposing them, one missed call at a time. Number 7. They built a whole house of lies, and it collapsed. You can build a mansion out of lies, but the truth only needs one gust of wind to bring the whole thing crashing down. They really thought they were architects, huh? Master planners, engineers of your downfall. They put in work, not on themselves, not on healing, not on growth, but on you, obsessively, religiously, plotting your collapse like it was a group project. Zoom calls, late-night gossip sessions, strategy circles. They were drawing blueprints of betrayal like they were building the Taj Mahal of toxicity. And you know what's wild, chosen one? They had backup plans for their backup plans. Just in case the first smear campaign didn't land, they had another rumor ready to go. Just in case people didn't believe one lie, they crafted a more believable one. That's how deep the hate ran. That's how badly your light made them itch. But no matter how many bricks they stacked, no matter how solid they thought their structure was, one thing they didn't account for was divine timing. Because when the universe decides enough is enough, it doesn't knock, it bulldozes, and that's exactly what happened. One by one, their lies started leaking, truths started spilling, people started waking up. That carefully constructed castle of manipulation collapsed like it was made of wet tissue paper, because when something is built on bitterness, the foundation is already cracked. And now, the very thing they spent so much energy building is burning at their feet, and not even the people they manipulated want to help them put out the flames. You may wonder, why would someone work so hard to tear down someone who wasn't even bothering them? And here's the cold, honest truth. Your existence challenged their illusion. You didn't need attention to matter. You didn't need control to feel powerful. You were walking proof that purpose doesn't need permission, and that drove them insane. So they built an empire just to destroy you, and ended up destroying themselves. They thought you were the enemy, but really, you were the mirror, and everything fake inside of them got reflected and then rejected by everyone around them. So let them sit in the ashes, chosen one. Let them sort through the debris of their own deception. You didn't swing once. Truth did all the demolition. Number 8. Meanwhile, you grew into a monster of light. They buried you, hoping no one would ever find you again. But you weren't dead. You were planted, and now you've grown into something so powerful, their lies can't even reach the branches. While they stayed busy scheming in the dark, dragging your name through rooms you weren't even in, you were growing, quietly, patiently, like a storm beneath the surface. You weren't chasing validation. You weren't begging to be understood. You were just becoming, evolving, stretching roots into deeper strength while they obsessed over destroying your image. And now they're choking on the very silence they mistook for weakness. You didn't just grow, you became untouchable. The same people who tried to bury you are now walking around the world you outgrew, acting like they never doubted you. But the tree you became from that pain, it casts shadows over everything fake. That growth, it's generational. What they meant to break you only bloomed into power that now protects more than just you. Let's get real. They were loud, desperate, thirsty for control. But you just stayed focused. You stopped explaining. You stopped shrinking. You stopped showing up where you weren't respected. You stopped waiting for anyone to get it. And in that silence, you built something too big to ignore. And now you walk into rooms and they feel it. Your presence, your progress, your peace. You don't need to talk about it. You are it, chosen one. They're not mad because you hurt them. They're mad because you healed. They're not sick because you fought back. They're sick because you didn't have to. All you did was exist in your truth, and that was enough to make their whole fake support system collapse. You grew in places they said you'd never reach. You leveled up when they were hoping you'd tap out. And now, you've outgrown the room they tried to trap you in, so don't look back. Don't apologize. Don't water yourself down. You're the tree now, and your roots are too deep to ever be moved. Number 9. Now they're the ones running. They ran after you like hunters. Now they're sprinting like cowards, not from you, but from the truth they tried to bury you with. Let's be clear, this ain't just some tables turned moment. This is a complete reset. The house flipped, the lights came on, and suddenly the ones who chased you with pitchforks are tripping over their own shadows, trying to escape the very fire they started. They ran their mouths. They ran their games. Now, they're just running. Not from you, but from everything they tried to dodge, the truth they covered up, the people they manipulated, the lies they handcrafted like weapons. It's all catching up. Every false accusation, every backstab, every time they celebrated when they thought you were done, now it's all flashing in front of them like a nightmare they can't wake up from. And guess what? There's no exit this time. You're not even chasing them. That's the beauty of it. You're not angry. You're not bitter. You're just elevated. And from where you're standing now, you can see them scrambling, blocking people, ghosting ex-friends, pretending like they don't know why it's all crashing down. But you know, because this is what happens when someone builds their entire identity around hating yours. Once you stopped feeding it, their whole personality lost power. You took your energy back, and their false image started starving. Now they're running, not from a person, but from exposure, from accountability, from the version of themselves that the world is finally starting to see. They used to talk about you like they knew your whole life story. Now they can't even speak without stuttering, because they've become the very villain they tried to paint you as. Chosen one, you asked for peace, and you got it. They asked for war. And now they're stuck in the battlefield alone. Let them run, let them panic, let them feel what it's like when masks fall and there's nowhere left to hide. Because this ain't just karma, this is the cost of underestimating someone who never needed revenge to win. You just kept rising, and now the ones who tried to take you down can't even look you in the eye, because deep down they know the hunted became the storm. Number 10. Broken friendships, broken homes, broken pride. They tried to break you, but ended up breaking everything around them. Now they're standing in the middle of the wreckage, holding the match they lit with their own hand. Let's talk about the aftermath, chosen one, because this wasn't just petty drama. This wasn't just some harmless jealousy. This was sabotage, calculated, intentional, and fueled by envy so deep it corroded everything it touched. And now, the same person who couldn't sleep knowing you were at peace has shattered everything they once called their life. Friendships gone, homes divided, relationships dismantled, all because one insecure soul couldn't stomach your shine. You were just existing, trying to grow, trying to heal, trying to move forward, but they couldn't let that happen, so they weaponized gossip, created confusion, and turned people against each other like it was a game. But this wasn't a game. It was real lives, real families, real connections. And now, the very people they manipulated are waking up and walking away. Not just from them, but from everything that came with them. Marriages have crumbled over this. People looked at their partner and said, "Who even are you?" because the lies went too far. Friendships that stood for years cracked in minutes once the truth started leaking. People are embarrassed to admit they fell for the manipulation. They're ashamed they believed the puppet master. And the worst part? It was all over you. Not because you attacked, not because you even knew it was happening, but because they couldn't handle your wins, your growth, your confidence, your light. And here's where it hits hardest. They didn't just lose people, they lost respect. You can fake popularity, but you can't fake character. And when the smoke cleared, their character was dust. Their reputation? In shambles. People don't trust them. People don't call them. People cross the street when they see them coming. You didn't have to destroy them. They pressed self-destruct all on their own, because hate might gather a crowd, but it never keeps one. Now they're alone, and it's loud. So, chosen one, don't even waste energy feeling sorry for them. They got what they earned. While they were busy trying to ruin your name, they stamped an expiration date on every relationship they had. And now, all that's left is broken pieces, and not a single soul willing to help them clean it up. Number 11. You were the test. They failed miserably. You weren't the problem, you were the mirror, and when they saw their own reflection, they shattered trying to blame you for what was inside them. This wasn't random, this wasn't bad luck, this was a setup, but not to destroy you, to reveal everything. You were the test, chosen one, a walking truth bomb, a spotlight in human form. You didn't come to blend in, you came to trigger what was fake, broken and insecure in everyone around you. And oh, did it get triggered. They were sent to test you, to see if you would break, if you would shrink, if you would let their lies define you. But you didn't. You stood your ground. You elevated. You transformed while under fire. And while they were watching, waiting for you to fold, you passed. Not by force, not by clapping back, but by being exactly who you are and refusing to let their hate rewrite your story. But here's the twist. They were being tested too. This wasn't just about your growth. This was about their exposure. And guess what? They failed miserably. Instead of healing their insecurities, they weaponized them. Instead of fixing their brokenness, they projected it. Instead of choosing loyalty, they chose manipulation. And now, the mask is off. They thought they were hiding behind whispers and group chats, but the truth always finds a way through. Now people see them for what they really are: users, liars, jealous souls who dressed it up as concern, fake friends who smiled to your face and schemed behind your back. The truth is out, and it's loud. You were never there to destroy them. You were there to expose them, not because you said a word, but because your growth, your peace, your refusal to play the victim, it all revealed everything they tried to keep hidden. That's the thing about real ones. They don't just survive storms. They reveal who's throwing the lightning. So, chosen one, don't ask why it happened. Now you know. You were the assignment. They were the ones who got it wrong. And the whole world sees it now. You passed. They folded. Case closed. Number 12. You are the throne now. They tried to destroy the crown, but they didn't realize it was welded to your soul. You weren't wearing the throne. You are the throne. You don't just walk in power now, you embody it. You are no longer waiting for validation, approval, or understanding. That season is dead and buried. You're not the same person they tried to tear down. You're not the one who flinched when they laughed, shrunk when they lied, or cried when they betrayed. That version of you is gone. In their place stands a ruler, a force, a presence that they can no longer deny, mock, or manipulate. You've become everything they tried to convince the world you weren't. They didn't want you to know who you are. That's the whole reason they attacked you in the first place, because they saw it before you did. They saw the leader, the builder, the light, the disruptor, the untouchable. So they tried to convince you that you were small, because they knew that once you figured it out for yourself, game over. And now you figured it out, and they're panicking. Not because you're loud, but because your silence is undeniable. Not because you're threatening, but because your energy commands respect. You are the throne. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't retaliate. You simply rise, and everything fake collapses beneath your feet. Chosen one, this was never about revenge. This was never about proving a point. This was about becoming, and you did it. You stepped into the version of you that was always waiting to be born, the version that doesn't seek power because you are power, the version that doesn't need to wear the crown because you're the reason it exists. They underestimated you. They mistook your silence for weakness. They called your growth luck. They said your peace was fake. But now, your presence alone shuts the whole room down. You're the storm they can't outrun, the one they swore would break, now running the game. Not just surviving, ruling. Let them watch, let them whisper, let them wonder how the one they tried to cancel ended up becoming the standard. Because now you walk with it, unshaken, untouched, unapologetic. Long live the throne, because you are it.